Lee Harvey Oswald, using the alias A. Hidell, because that's what he purchased it under, was just A. Hidell, which was Alec Hidell, purchased by mail order a 6.5 by 52 millimeter Caracano model 9138 infantry rifle, which, according to most gun experts and people that are good with guns, I am not. I've never shot a gun in my life. So I can't say I'm an expert. I'm basically relying on all the experts that are online or in documentaries or anything like that. According to those experts, though, this gun is a piece of shit. It was good in its day, but not now. Not in 1963. And the sight on the rifle apparently was really fucked up. Now, CBS had conducted a firing test in 1967 at the H.P. White Ballistics Laboratory located in Street, Maryland. For the test, 11 marksmen from diverse backgrounds were invited to participate. 3 Maryland state troopers, 1 weapons engineer, 1 sporting goods dealer, 1 sportsman, 1 ballistic technician, 1 ex-paratrooper, and 3 H.P. White employees. And one of these guys ended up researching this for 10 years and finding out the Secret Service accidentally shot him in the back of the head.
Whoops.
That's one of the theories we missed on there, actually. I didn't list it.
Huh.
Yeah, that it was an accident. Basically, with that theory, I'll just explain it right now. The theory is that Lee Harvey Oswald was a shooter, and he shot him in the neck, and then the second shot missed. And as the Secret Service guy behind JFK was turning around to see, he had his gun loaded and safety off, looking around to see exactly where the shots came from, he tripped, he fell, the gun went off, and shot JFK in the head. Which apparently the trajectories line up, everything like that. That before I started going through everything here, that's basically what I believed. My views kind of changed a little bit since going through all of this. So, and the results of the CBS test were as follows. 7 out of the 11 shooters were able to fire the 3 rounds in 5.6 seconds. Of these 7 shooters, 6 hit the orange target once, which is 86%. And 5 hit the orange target twice, which is 71%. Out of 60 rounds fired, 25 hit the orange, which was 42%. So 42% of the total rounds fired actually hit the orange. 21 hit the blue portion of the target, which was 35% of the time. And there were 14 misses on the target completely, which is 20. So a quarter of the time, all of them actually missed the target completely. And these are trained marksmen. These are people that know what the hell they're doing. Now, the guy that did the smoking gun documentary, he actually was able to do it. But one thing that I had to look into myself was what was the time between the first 2 shots? The timing between the first 2 shots, from what I gathered, the thing is I didn't want to trust an audio recording.
I don't know. I was thinking between 7 and 10 seconds. How far was it?
It was, well, the thing is that the total amount of shots out of 3 of them, it was like 6 to 8 seconds. So that can be done. But the question is, can you get 2 shots off in about 2 seconds?
I don't know.
Because the first 2 shots are about 2 seconds apart.
And did he have to reload? Was it like a shotgun?
Nobody has tested that from what I can see. Nobody has tested that if you can get 2 shots off in between the first 2 shots. They always go, hey, how many can you get off in 8 seconds? Well, how many can you get off in 2?
That's what she said.
Exactly. I can get a lot of things off in 2 seconds.
Oh, I'd like that.
Myself included. All right, let's get into Mrs. Babushka. Babushka Lady.
Please stop with that.
The Babushka Lady is the unknown woman present during the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy, who might have photographed or recorded the events happening in Dealey Plaza in Dallas that day. she was seen holding a camera in the Zapruder film, which the Zapruder film, we'll go over that. It was done by a guy that was born in the Ukraine that was recording the assassination. He was recording the president motorcade, and he ended up...
That made him a lot of money.
Yeah, he ended up, like, completely catching the most famous assassination ever in the history of assassinations. Beverly Oliver told conspiracy researcher Gary Shaw... I didn't know conspiracy researcher was a thing, but... Conspiracy researcher Gary Shaw at a church revival meeting in Joshua, Texas, that she was the babushka lady. Oliver stated that she filmed the assassination with a Super 8 camera and that she turned the undeveloped film into two men who identified themselves as FBI agents. She obtained no receipt for this, and she was told that it would be returned within 10 days.
I'll assume that never came back.
That never came back. Never. She didn't see it after that.
I wouldn't have just willingly gave my crap away like that.
I don't know. In a situation like that, though, like
I'd at least make photocopies for myself first.
But you're just back then. You're gonna just try and help.
I guess
you're not as paranoid about it. It's not quite to the point where we're at now, where we're always. I mean, we got conspiracy theory podcasts now.
Well, and everything this day and age is suspicious. Yeah,
it's because of the fact that we have the internet and we can figure things out a lot easier instead of having to go to. If I had to research this the old way, I would have had to go to a public library and go through a bunch of shit. I might have had to travel to Dallas. Instead, I did it on my phone. I did it basically all on my phone. So.
Well, and you make it sound like the public library is that much of a distance. We live across the street from
that is exercise that I do not need.
Oh, okay.
Just don't look exercise before
crossing, okay, babe?
I do not need. The Umbrella Man. Have you heard about the infamous Umbrella Man?
No, not really.
Okay, so in the JFK assassination videos, you can see a man holding an umbrella. And now there is a theory out there that he had a poison dart in the umbrella that he shot at Kennedy's neck, immobilizing him so Oswald could shoot him.
Did we see... Well, I suppose you can't really see in that video if anything else went flying at the president.
Exactly. Huh? It's too fucking muddied up. But the whole thing is when the president drives by, you see the Umbrella Man take the umbrella and open it and close it a bunch of times.
That's weird.
And he said he was doing it. They thought it might have been a signal to kill the president. So they actually seriously looked into this. But they found out it was just a protest. It was a joke. He was saying that because Neville Chamberlain, the Prime Minister of Britain at the time, who had supported Joseph Kennedy, his father, had always had an umbrella with him. Now, the Umbrella Man was identified as Louis Stephen Witt, a Dallas life insurance salesman who was just protesting the president.
So I'm just going to wave my umbrella around like a moron.
Yeah.
This is my way of protesting. I'm just going to wave my umbrella at you like a perfectly sane person.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn. I don't know you.
Exactly. That's what came of that. Basically, it was just a bad joke. That's what Mr. Witt had said. Quote, it was a bad joke. And it was just really bad timing that he made a protest. Which I believe him, in all honesty. It looks nothing like he's shooting anything out the umbrella. I mean,
right, but I could still see it as possibly being some type of signal. I just don't think that it'd be like a fucking dart in it. Like
that I can't rule out that it was a signal. So, it could have been. But another piece of evidence is a very good documentary that you need to check out that's fairly new. I guess I'm an old person, but it's fairly new. And it's called The Smoking Gun. We've watched it before. It is about the accidental killing of the president. And the documentary is hosted by Colin McLaren. He investigates the JFK assassination using ballistics expert Howard Donahue's evidence of a second shooter in Dealey Plaza. Donahue was the one that worked on this for 10 years. He was one of the original people in the CBS testing back in 1976. They basically did this whole documentary surrounding his theories. The theory is that George Hickey, a Secret Service member, was riding in the car behind Kennedy, and he was reacting to Oswald firing the gun and accidentally shot the president in the back of the head. Now, to support this theory, there are a lot of ballistics and trajectories that are used. It's very believable. If you go check that documentary out. It's right now it's on Amazon Prime, and I think you can actually find it on YouTube for free. Now, the whole documentary basically is about a cover-up, which would be very believable if it was a Secret Service member that did it, because they'd want to cover up that. That would be really sad if a Secret Service member assassinated him on accident. But Hickey died in 2011, and ever since Kennedy's death, conspiracy theorists have suggested there was a second person involved, and this second person could have been George Hickey on accident. A lot of people say it looked like a shot from the front, so his head, everybody's like, oh, his head's going back into the left. Well, if he was hit with a hollow point bullet from behind, the hollow point bullet explodes. Basically, if it went into his head and then exploded, it would shoot out the front of his head like that and then throw his head back. So that's what I say to it must have come from the front left because his head, or the front right because his head moves back into the left. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the shot came from. Now, the other theory of JFK and the CIA, like I said, the CIA and Kennedy did not get along whatsoever. When JFK entered office, he was an advocate for the line against Fidel Castro's Cuba, and obviously failed in the Bay of Pigs incident, which probably brought forward the Cuban Missile Crisis, which it did. They saw that as a weakness after the Cuban Missile Crisis because of the Kennedy blockade. I don't know why they saw that as kind of a weakness. I think he was just trying to make peace in the world, and they fucking might have shot him for it, so. And the ties with Oswald and the CIA, there's plenty of theories out there. WikiLeaks, the infamous WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks?
Do you know what WikiLeaks is?
Not WikiLeaks?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
WikiLeaks, WikiLeaks, Freak-a-leak.
People from...
Freak-a-leak.
Well, obviously people from Wikipedia got their hands... Oh my god. Got their hands on something that we weren't supposed to have.
You know what a freak-a-leak is?
No, I don't. Maybe
it's
I
where
really do want to.
You leak all over a freak. Kennedy, according to WikiLeaks, had said, how could I have been so stupid when it comes to people advising him on intelligence? So basically saying, how could I have been so stupid to trust the CIA? So the CIA did not like that. And also, Kennedy said, quote, he wanted to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the winds. And 2.5 years later, after he said that, he was dead. He was the only president really ever to have an opinion against the CIA, other than our current president, I do believe, doesn't really like the CIA too much.
Yeah, he likes to fire everybody. He doesn't give a shit who you are.
I don't know what his stance is on the CIA, but I could totally see him not liking the CIA or the FBI, which I wouldn't honestly blame him. So basically, you know, there's just beef between JFK, the FBI, and the CIA. And let me remind you that the CIA and the FBI are not even close to the same thing. The FBI is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. A lot of people get that confused with the CIA. The CIA is our intelligence agency, which is technically a contractor for the United States. Now for some juicy shit.
Yay! our patrons interested again. I'm kidding.